got me at first. It was like,
Smooth, big, round.
2 hours later.
It's like slimy balls in your mouth.
Hello fellow coffee botherers, today I'm going to be talking about the new Sage or Breville Luxe Brewer, their latest filter coffee or drip coffee brewer and cold brew coffee maker. This has been sent to me on loan only from Sage, and they're giving it away via the monthly coffee blog giveaway once I've finished reviewing it. To see the current giveaway, go to coffeeblog.co.uk/giveaway. Let's start out with the specs. Dimensions: 29 centimetres, just under 11.5 inches wide, 17 centimetres, just over 6.5 inches deep, with the carafe in place. The handles jut out about 4 centimetres, just under 1.5 inches, and that's added on either to the width or the depth, depending on where you put the handles. 1.8 litre removable water tank, around 1.7 litre max brew capacity, or around 500 ml for cold brew. It'll also brew single cups. One touch gold cup preset for hot coffee, custom brew controls also for hot coffee, cold brew setting with a brew time of 30 minutes to 36 hours, brew timer, set it all up and tell it what time to start brewing. Very simple setup, ready to go within a couple of minutes of unboxing. Dual walled stainless steel thermal carafe, or glass carafe if you go for the Luxe Brewer glass. This version isn't currently available in Europe, and it features a warming plate, which this one doesn't, because it's got a thermal carafe, so it doesn't need one. Cone-shaped and flat-bottomed filter baskets and single cup steep and release mode. What is the Sage or Breville Luxe Brewer? This is the new filter or drip brewer from Sage or Breville, the successor to the Precision Brewer. It shares most of the good stuff from the Precision Brewer, but they've made one major improvement and a few other less important changes. How much is it? In the UK, the RRP is £249.95. In the USA, it's $349.95. And in Canada, it's $479.99 Canadian dollars. The glass carafe version is $319.95 in the US in dollars, $449.99 in Canada. I can't find the glass version anywhere else at present. How does it differ from the Precision Brewer? Number 1, removable water tank. The most important upgrade, in my humble opinion, is the removable water tank. The original Precision Brewer not having a removable water tank just didn't make any sense to me, and I'm very happy they've done this. It makes it easier to fill if you're using a tap, and it makes it easier to clean. It means you can properly empty all of the water from the tank without picking the entire unit up and holding it over the sink. Number 2, less brew options. The Precision Brewer has 3 additional presets: fast, strong and over ice, in addition to the SCA Gold Brew preset, and My Brew customised brew settings and cold brew. The Luxe Brewer has the Brew preset and custom as well as cold brew. Brew is what's called the gold setting on the Precision Brewer, and custom is the same as My Brew. Less presets might seem like a downgrade, but really they've just uncluttered it with presets that I'd imagine very few people would ever use. Number 3, more control over cold brew. The Luxe Brewer has a much wider time range for cold brew, up to 36 hours versus up to 24 hours on the Precision Brewer. Not sure why you'd want to do that, but if you want to, you can. Number 4, new interface. The Luxe has a new, much bigger and brighter interface with a dial and 2 buttons. It's slightly easier to use, I reckon, but it's much easier to see. The text is bigger and brighter. Number 5, bloom volume. The Precision Brewer has adjustable bloom volume on EU models, but not on US models. The Luxe Brewer has adjustable bloom volume on all versions. Number 6, how can you support this channel? That's very kind of you to ask. And the easiest, most free way is to look for the text down here somewhere that says subscribe. Click it and make it change to subscribed. Clicking like and leaving comments, something like, "Kev, you're really good looking, your accent isn't at all difficult to understand, and your videos are mega and great and good," also helps. If you wanted to go even further, you can become a member by clicking the join button. That will instantly make your coffee taste better, or if not, it'll at least give you early access to videos, members only content, and even, wait for it, about 4 or 5 pretty rubbish custom emojis. Woohoo! What's the water tank like? It's removable, that's the main thing. It feels like sturdy plastic. It has this handy finger loop. It comes with a Claro Swiss water filter, and it has more sensible level markings on it. The Precision Brewer had markings, or has markings, because it's still available, at 150ml, 300ml, 450ml, 600ml, 900ml, 1200ml, and 1500ml and 1800ml. So there's no 1 litre mark, which I always thought was a bit weird. I always found this a bit odd because most people, I think, would work in multiples of a litre when working out their ratio. For example, 60 grams for a litre, 30 grams for half a litre, and so on. Anyway, this one has markings at 150ml, 500ml, a litre, 1500ml, and 1800ml. So I do like the fact that it has a 1 litre level marker. It is a bit confusing to know what the measurements are between the numbered levels, but I've worked it out for you so you don't have to. You're welcome. Each range is divided into 4, except from 1.5 litres to 1.8 litres, which is divided into 3. If you want to know what all the unnumbered markings work out to in millilitres and fluid ounces, just see the description. I'm not reading them all here, can't be bothered. The only other thing to say about the water tank is that there's a specific way to put it in. Like this. You just have to tilt it back a bit, push it in. That got me at first. I was like, What are the brew modes? The Luxe has 2 filter coffee or drip coffee modes and 1 cold brew mode. Cold brew is just one mode, but you can change the brew time, as I've mentioned, from 30 minutes to 36 hours. For filter or drip, the default mode is the gold cup setting, but you can also set up your custom setting, which is the My Brew setting on the Precision Brewer. This allows you to customise the brew temperature, bloom time, bloom volume and flow rate. What's steep and release? This isn't a mode as such, but if you're using under 600ml of water, you'll be prompted to remove the carafe lid. And if you do that, it'll work like a clever dripper, and it'll hold the water in the filter for about 4 minutes in gold brew setting before releasing.
So the carafe's the bottom bit, isn't it?
So it prompts you to remove that so that the steep and release will work.
And then how do you release it though?
Does it automatically? But if that's in, it's pushed up so it can't do its thing.
I get you.
Isn't it clever?
If you don't want to use this, just ignore it and leave the carafe lid on. It uses the steep and release thing for cold brew too, by the way. What is delayed start? This is the brew timer. You just put your coffee in, put the water in the tank, and then press this button and tell it when to start brewing. This isn't exactly groundbreaking. Filter coffee machines have had this for years, but it's very simple to use. You literally just select the time and it'll delay the start until then. What's the filter coffee like? The filter brewer itself obviously isn't the most important thing when it comes to brewing filter coffee. At the end of the day, it's hot water programmed to flow through ground coffee sitting in a filter. Filter, not felter. So how it tastes is ultimately going to come down to the coffee beans you're using, the grind and the recipe. But this machine gives you precise PID-controlled water temperature, and it gives you a lot of control that you wouldn't have on a more standard filter coffee machine.
What? This is Millionaire Shortbread?
Yeah. Millionaire's Shortbread Honduras.
Long slurp.
Slurp.
Espresso.
And it's lovely.
Is there a difference in flavour profile generally, or is it specific to it?
Slurp.
Not really. I mean, it'll depend. It'll come down to the ratio, so how strong you make it. So it's the coffee beans, grind size and grind quality and recipe, mainly brew ratio, which are mainly responsible for how your coffee will taste. But after that, you have more control to adjust things with this than you would with most other machines on the market, including most other specialty brewers. I've just spoken about coffee beans, so this would be a good time to hear from our sponsor. The sponsor this week was supposed to be a brand new protein powder, but I had a look at the pricing and decided it was way too expensive.
I'm not booing it, I liked it.
Thanks, Nexus Dog, for that one. So the sponsor this week is me. My coffee from the Coffee Works is freshly roasted, usually on the day of dispatch, and we have lots of coffees that are great for filter at cworks.co.uk/filter coffee. I'd highly recommend you grind your own. That gives you more control, but if you can't, we'll grind it for you just as we're about to dispatch it. So it's just about as fresh as pre-ground coffee possibly could be. Just select pre-ground, filter, or if you're planning on making single cups rather than bigger batches, choose pre-ground V60. And if you're a new customer, to entice you to try my coffee, in the knowledge that you'll never look back once you do, go to cworks.co.uk/25 for 25% off your first order. Back to the Luxe Brewer. What brew ratio should I use? Brew ratio is key. After the coffee beans and grind size, brew ratio is probably the most important factor where taste is concerned. I've heard from people in the past who aren't happy with the taste of their filter coffee, and when I ask them what ratio they're using, they don't know. They just scoop some coffee in and pour some water on. That's always going to be a bit hit and miss. I'd always recommend knowing what ratio you're using so you can tweak it if you're not happy with the results. I'd start out at 60 grams of coffee per litre and go from there. If your coffee is too intense, reduce the coffee to water slightly, and if it's not intense enough, increase it. Simples. Which brew setting should I choose? If you're relatively new to brewing specialty filter coffee, I'd stick to the gold brew setting, and I'll just brew on this, just click brew, and focus on making changes to the grind size if you're grinding your own and the brew ratio. Once you've found your feet and you're fairly comfortable with the grind size and the brew ratio, then would be a good time to start experimenting with the custom settings. What do I need to change the custom settings to match gold brew? No idea, sorry. I wish I could tell you, as it would make perfect sense to start out at the same settings as gold brew and then just make a small change to one thing at a time, but I've never managed to get this info from Sage or Breville. I am still trying, and I'm sure I will eventually. What's the carafe like? It's like that.
Smooth, big, round, beautiful.
Some people weren't a fan of the carafe on the Precision Brewer. It was easy to end up with the lid not been on properly and could be a bit dribbly when pouring. The new one appears to be improved in that regard, nice and easy to lock the lid on, no dribbles noticed as of yet. They're both dual-walled stainless steel. I've heard some chatter about the new one being slightly better, so I've tested them both, starting out with water at 90 degrees Celsius, 195 degrees Fahrenheit. See the description for the results. You'll see there's not much difference. They're both great. What's the cold brew like? It's actually quite special in my opinion. It's full immersion cold brew, meaning that the coffee is fully immersed for the entire brew time and you have easy access to the grounds at any time, so you can experiment with just removing the filter holder and giving it a stir after an hour, for example. Like that. Like that. No. It done it. You can just take that out.
That's cool.
Yeah. 2 hours later. Stir, stir, stir. It produces a really nice, clean cold brew as it's paper filtered, but you can also create quite a strong cold brew in a relatively short brew time, but you can try very specific release times in order to really fine-tune your cold brew. I did an experiment. I thought I'd see if I could produce a cold brew concentrate to dilute 1-to-1 in just 6 hours, and it worked perfectly. All I did was to remove the filter and give it a stir about an hour into the brew. How does it compare to the competition? In my humble opinion, it doesn't really have much direct competition. Yes, of course, there are other filter coffee machines, but they're not the same. This is a PID-controlled filter brewer with preset and fully adjustable brew temperature, bloom time, bloom volume, and flow rate. So if you're wondering how it compares to most other filter coffee machines, there you go. And if this is what you're looking for, there's not really much competition from what I can gather. The closest is probably the fellow Aiden, which I've not tried. It's very interesting, but it's not close in terms of price, at least at RRP. Then there's the X-Bloom Studio, which is also very interesting, but very different and very differently priced. Is there any specific machine you'd like me to do a side-by-side comparison with versus the Luxe Brewer? If so, let me know in the comments. What do I like about it? It's very simple to use, the display is nice and big, everything's nice and clear. Not only is it simple to use, but it's easy to make great filter coffee with, or I should say it's harder to make bad filter coffee with than with a lot of normal filter coffee machines. Basically, all you need to do is choose the cold setting and then tweak your grind size and brew ratio over time until you're happy. I very much like the fact that it has a removable water tank. That's the main thing I didn't really like about the Precision Brewer. And I like the carafe. As long as you preheat it before brewing, it'll keep your coffee hot for hours. I like the cold brew function in that it's really quite different to overnight cold brew and you have really specific control over when it's released. What do I like less? The name. I don't quite understand why they've confused things by moving away from the Precision Brewer name and choosing Luxe. The Precision Brewer name made perfect sense to me. Luxe doesn't. I'm a bit confused by that. The level markings, I wish there were more of them, and I think they could have made this even more simple to use by putting a guide on the water tank telling people how much coffee to use for each level marking. It's a bit noisy. As with the Precision Brewer, towards the end of the brew you get the dry pump sound, which is quite loud. So although it's quiet throughout the rest of the brew, under 40 decibels, at the end it ramps up to about 65 decibels. Sage, you need to put a gasket on this lid to keep it in so it doesn't not as noisy. Be alright if that was on securely. Fine. So there you go, the new Luxe Brewer. It's basically the Precision Brewer version 2. They've given it a weird name, not sure why, but it has a removable water tank, which is great. The control panel is bigger, clearer, less cluttered, and there's a longer cold brew time range. And other than that, it's very similar. Let me know if you want to do any specific videos with this. Is there a versus you'd like to see, or do you want me to test something in particular?
Hiya.
Are either of you allergic to frog spawn?
I don't know, I've never eaten frog
Oh, is that
spawn.
what those little balls are? What you see in the bubble tea shops?
Ah, bubble tea, eh?
Bubble tea, is this bubble coffee?
I've not got much going on. Very.
What about the drink?
To me, it just tastes like cold, weak coffee.
Oh,
Okay. Just tastes like a pretty meh coffee.
that's what it's called.
The title of this drink
I'm
is
guessing
Pretty
it's
Meh
like
Coffee.
bubble or boba or whatever it is. Coffee.
It is exactly that. Boba.
I've never
Ice,
actually looked
coffee,
into
bubble
what.
coffee, whatever. Tapioca.
Get closer to the mic so the audience can hear you.
You want some?
Not really, no.
You got no fans?
Oh,
They're
great.
pretty flavourless.
You could.
It's like slimy balls in your mouth.
3 out of 10.
That's a wanna.
Put your beans down in the wrong place.
I reserve my 1 out of 10 for like disgusting. It's just nothing.
Yeah.
It is just a white coffee.
Should we save everyone time?
They've tried it, so you don't have to.
Just don't.
Don't do it.
We've done it for you.
Save your money.
Thank you very much for watching, and a special thank you to all of the new channel members. If you want to join in the fun, click the join button, which is down here somewhere by my right ice skate. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to support the channel by clicking the subscribe button to make it change to say subscribed. Also, liking and commenting help too. And another way to subscribe is to click on my face. That face, not this face. Tatty bye.